When I first moved to Colorado, I realized I needed a full suspension bike. The biggest benefit that I saw with belt drive and pinion gearbox was the lack of maintenance needed, but also I immediately saw the fact that you could produce a really quiet drivetrain on a full suspension bike. I immediately recognized that because you don't have a derailleur hanging off the back of the bike. And I break stuff a lot. I'm hard on equipment and I go through tons of derailleurs. I was breaking tons of chains. I wanted to keep working with belt drive at Reeb because I knew I wanted to develop a full suspension bike someday. I really wanted the lack of maintenance and how quiet you could make the bike. Just not having chain slap is so huge. There's all kinds of different ways to combat that, but it's still noisy. The chain hits the spokes when you're going through rough sections. It just really seemed like belt drive was the way to go. I think in 2019 I started modeling the Bruiser, which is right behind me, the first full suspension gearbox belt bike that I made. You have a derailleur that's just hanging off the back waiting to get hit by rocks, and belt drive completely solves that. We got bike packers, long distance riders that don't want to have to, oil a chain every day and have that upkeep. Same thing with damaging a derailleur. If you're bike packing, a gearbox just makes sense because it's so much more protected. What I really wanted to see was how Gates belt drive could, excel in a full suspension application. So when I started developing the Bruiser, the pinion gearbox and Gates belt drive was a shoo-in for me. It just seemed like that was the most robust drivetrain system. So yeah, the Bruiser is definitely a bike for me, and the gearbox and the belt drive make it pretty much indestructible. A lot better performance, and it'll just be quiet. And it's insane riding a downhill bike with a belt drive. It's so quiet. It's nice. A lot of riders are strapping weight to the bottom bracket of the bike to get the center of gravity lower, to get weight down low. So you can just kill two birds with one stone with the gearbox and make your bike more reliable and have the weight where you need it. Especially for World Cup racers where they're looking for every bit of margin and time. Being able to dial in your suspension without having to plan for a derailleur that's just bouncing around makes it a lot easier. And so it really just simplifies the suspension on a bike, and it's pretty incredible on the way it feels. Got down to the bottom of the trail, my bike was really muddy. The belt had a bunch of mud and grass stuck in it. We just took it down to the river and I dunked the whole bike underwater in the river and just shook it like a washing machine and came out and the belt was clean. So one huge benefit of Gates belt drive with a pinion gearbox is just how smooth it is. You never have skipping gears, you never have chain clicking, you never have chain slap or clatter. It's just smooth and quiet. The Gates belt drive, they're strong from day one to day 1,000. They don't wear out like chains do, and I think they're a lot stronger than chains overall.